Some analysis now. Political analyst Mapaseka Murwa joins us in studio. So you listen to what the president had to say. He obviously had to address gender-based violence being used for political gain. Right move?
I think it was very interesting. It was very President Matamela of him in the heat of the moment to say, you know what, let's all come down and let me apologize from the stance. We know that this is actually not the first time that these allegations have been leveled against the president. So I do think that, you know, him saying, but actually the person that you're talking about has actually denied these allegations. So I think it was the right move to address it, but then there are still some questions as to are they true, are they not?
Yeah. So let's talk about the other issues here. The president also slamming comments made on apartheid and whether it was a crime against humanity. So he chose to use his response to what parliamentarians said to actually get back and make his stance quite clear when it comes to these issues.
Yes. I think, look, the most interesting thing about the SONA is the fact that the EFF did something very interesting. They got the ANC to defend F.W. de Klerk, which was a political own goal for the ANC. So I think that, look, he had to obviously come back and reiterate the fact that, look, what happened was not right. But the fact that for the longest time, F.W. de Klerk had been able to go to Parliament and be able to sit there. And also my biggest issue is this. They always referred to him as former President F.W. de Klerk. But in the democratic sense, he's actually the former Deputy President of South Africa.
Yeah.
So that's just something, that terminology. Yeah. So he was able to get back and to, you know, redeem the ANC somehow, but it still stands that there was a political own goal.
Yeah, so all of the populist things aside, let's talk about what he said regarding corruption. He even says that we're determined to hold those accountable who have stole from the people, but we've been hearing that now for years.
For a long time. Look, what's different particularly about the SONA is that the three past SONAs, President Matamela has been treated with some kid gloves. Okay, he got the standing ovation in 2018. And now for the first time, people are taking him to account to say, okay, your solutions, your proposals, your policies, how far have you come? Have you really taken the necessary steps that are required? And, you know, it seems people are saying, well, not so much. Considering also the fact that, you know, the new dawn now, according to John Steenhuisen, the new despair, right, is the place where we are. So I think the president should have outlined a more rigorous plan to say, this is the timeline in terms of corruption, and this is how we plan to tackle it. State capture has been going on. It will continue to go on. So there is no practical way to actually deal with this.
And then we have the troubled SOEs, which the president is again talking about. He's forced to speak about these things in response to what MP said over the past 2 days, though. Yeah. We're still not getting the concrete plans, but is that even possible in a reply?
Look, he's outlined his policies, but what I can say is that this man ran on the ticket that he is a businessman and he would run South Africa like a business. Okay, the first thing in terms of unemployment, his solution to that is investment. Now, the trade-off to that is having a softer bill and law on the expropriation of land without compensation. In fact, I remember him coming out and saying, look, yes, we will expropriate land. However, we are looking at municipal land. We're looking at land owned by the government. So essentially he's saying, but we'll only be able to take care of on this end, but not in terms of the whole of South Africa. The second thing would be that he's halting the monopoly on Eskom. The idea of Eskom is meant to subsidize poor people in this country, especially dealing with the triple L's, poverty, unemployment, inequality. Now he's allowing municipalities to purchase from independent power producers. Mines can produce their own electricity. So it's quite interesting. He's also reiterated the fact that, look, state-owned enterprises are overstaffed, which is actually true. So as a business person, the reasonable thing to do, I would imagine, is mass retrenchments and ensure that the burden is lifted of state-owned enterprises. However, the trade-off is that unemployment will rise.
Yeah, exactly. So overall, for South Africans listening to the president today, did he manage to reassure them?
That's a very tough one. Look, the apologies we are used to, the romance we are used to, but in terms of practicality, I doubt it. And especially that 90 minutes that we saw in Parliament of that political own goal, I don't think he was able to do enough, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your time and your insight. Appreciate it. That was political analyst Mapaseka Murwa.